Welcome back to BoatFools Sailing. Thanks for watching last week. Thanks for tuning in this week. So listen, it's getting pretty exciting around here because this weekend is the Camden Classic Cup. Got it. We wait for it all year long. 90 plus boats of all vintages, all sizes racing for glory. And we're defending our first place finish in class last year on my stepfather's Sabre 36 Moondance. So not only do we have a target on our back, we want to win again. So this is going to air about the time I'm crossing the finish line, hopefully on Saturday. So I'm even more excited about this week's video because we're going back to the fantasy edition, but this time we're hitting all 6 great states of New England, scouring high and low for the coolest boats, any price, any size to share with you. And I think I found some killer ones. So stick around. In the meantime, I just got the new copy of Sail Magazine, as I'm sure most of you did. And while I appreciate the cooler cover relative to more recent ones, the inside is a disaster. And I'm going to tell you why next week, because they showcase some boats that are coming on the market that I think are just missing the mark. And they have a story on Kirsten that I think also misses the mark, she just won the Golden Globe on a Cape George 36. So I'm going to tell you why they missed the mark. And they miss it by a country mile. Well, actually, maybe it's a nautical mile, but either way, they missed the mark. So stick around for next week's episode too. But in the meantime, sit down, buckle up, relax, enjoy the show. We're going to whip through these 10 awesome boats like a jet fighter going supersonic. Let's go have some fun. Fantasy edition, you say? Yeah. I want to do some racing, and this would be my fantasy boat to do it in. Look, this is a 1989 Carol Marine Freres 38. Freres design, Carol Marine built, and she is slick. She's been on the market for a while, so if you're interested in this boat, dive low on the price. She's listed at $56,500 and she's located in Shelburne, Vermont. So for at least recent history, she's been up on a lake, Lake Champlain to be exact. And this boat is a beauty. This all grip dark green paint was applied in 2021 and she looks like she's been really well kept. So let's blast through these pictures real quick. Nice big cockpit, nice big primary winches, your traveler right in front of the helm, which is convenient. You've got a stern hung ladder, which is great. You've got a windlass, and all your lines are led aft, and the down below looks cherry. Yeah, look at those chain plates. They're just massive. But this boat is not only fast, but you can cruise it, and it would be reasonably comfortable. And you'll see what I mean. So you've got a nice big V-berth, and the down below just looks spotless. The sole floor looks great, head looks serviceable, and the galley looks nice. You can tuck yourself in there, and you've got a near center line, double sink there, gimbal stove, and it looks like refrigeration, nice nav station, and I love the name Spearmint. It's perfect for this boat, and I love that green and white combo with the gold cove stripe. Nice big fin keel on this, big spade rudder, and this boat is fast. Fast, you say? Yeah, her perf rating is 87, and when you look at the sailboat data, we'll see that she draws 7.5 feet, that big fin keel. Only 18 of these were made, and her sail area displacement is nearly 20. Fast boat. She's also a very stiff boat with a ballast to displacement ratio of nearly 45. She's a moderate displacement boat with a comfort ratio of just over 23, so tending more toward racing than cruiser. Capsize screening formula of just over 2, and an S/speed factor of nearly 2.6. Fast boat, fun boat. Fantasy edition for racing. I would choose this one because I love her classic lines. All right, let's move on. Coming in at number 9 is also located in Shelburne, Vermont, also represented by Bruce Hill Yacht Sales. It is a 1978 Shannon 28, list price of $67,500. So look, also a fairly rare boat. Not many of these were made, only 50, and this is like the perfect coastal cruiser, lake sailor. You can blue water cruise this boat. She is solid. There are only 4 pictures, which is why she's ranking lower on our list today. But I love these boats. You got the nice stern hung rudder, protected prop here, and you got the Bimini and Dodger, and she's a cutter rig. And again, just I think you have mast steps, which is also kind of nice. But these 28 footers, there's one more next to my stepfather's Sabre, and it looks like a really solid boat, and it's much bigger down below than you might imagine. So let's look at the sailboat data here. But before we do that, the diesel was replaced in 2015. It's a 20 horsepower Beta, and it has all new standing rigging. So pretty sweet. And then the sailboat data, here's your schematic. She is the passage maker layout, which is the top one right here. So you can look at that at your leisure, but she has a max draft of 4.25, so you can get in some really shallow places with this boat. And her sail area displacement is over 17, so not a slow boat. However, you're going to need some wind to power her up. Her S factor or speed factor is 1.4, capsizing screening of under 2, comfort ratio of nearly 30, and she's a heavy displacement. So you could take this boat anywhere. Really a classic beauty. Only 50 of these are made. She's number 9 this week. All right, speaking of rare boats, this next one is a rare gem indeed. She is a 1983 Cape Dory 45 coming in at number 8 this week at $199,900, located in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. How rare is this boat? Very rare. 3 were made, and this is hull number 2. Let's look at the pictures because there are a lot of them. These were taken while the boat was in storage, so they're a little bit darker than she would appear in natural daylight, but the down below looks really, really pretty and clean. That sole floor looks like you could skate on it. But there are your decks. Here's down below again. We're going to whip through these because there's a ton of them. But a really pretty boat down below with everything you could possibly need to whirl a cruise. I think she carries 200 gallons of water and 100 gallons of diesel. You have a nice little entertainment center up in your V-berth so you can watch a movie with your loved one. You've got a nice nav station, and your electronics look serviceable. Some are older than the others, but by and large you can get by with this for a while. And you could take this boat around the world as many times as you could possibly want. It is a really pretty boat. The galley is wonderful. I love the white Formica with the wood trim, and you've got a double sink there near center line and a gimbaled stove, obviously. And I believe you have refrigeration on this, yes, and just about everything else you need. You've got a stand-up shower in the head. You've got a Perkins diesel on this boat. You've got a nice big cockpit folding table there, and there's your windlass, and there are your decks. They all look fantastic. This is a rare, rare gem. And I love you got ship to shore. There your gas locker there, and your auto helm, and which that person was holding. And there's your Perkins. But this looks like it needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But you can forgive that for the rarity of the boat, and that you'd have a one of 3 ever made. And her name is Victory, and that makes a lot of sense. Let's look at the sailboat data. There she is. A draft of 6.25, 3 made, last made in 1985, Carl Alberg design, 200 gallons of water, 100 gallons of diesel, sail area displacement of over 18, and she's a heavy displacement, comfort ratio of 33, capsizing screening of under 2, and a S/speed factor of almost 2. Heavier blows, the faster she goes. This is a rare gem, a really cool boat, and she is number 8 this week. All right, let's keep moving and shaking. All right, here's what gets a little confusing. Coming in at number 7 this week is a 1964 Concordia yawl, 41-footer. She's not the 39-footer, but I've got something to say about that. There were fewer of these made, I think 40, I want to say, of the Concordia 41s. However, there are 103 of the Concordia 39s, and there are a bunch of these for sale right now. Between the 2 designs, I think there are 18 for sale nationwide, and there are 3 or 4 in Maine alone. This one's located in Round Pond, Maine, and her list price is $57,000, and it is offered by Rockport Marine Brokerage. These boats are stunners, and the first wooden boats to make it onto our top 10 list. And they say the 41 is a little bit bigger, obviously, than the 39, but the the dimensions on Sailboat data are almost identical. But these are classic beauties with the most beautiful lines of any of the boats out there, really, in my opinion. I've loved these for as long as I've been alive and knew what I was looking at. So that's a 41. So looking at the Sailboat data on this, you've got a sail area displacement under 15 and a speed factor of 1 and a capsizing screening of under 2. She is a ultra heavy displacement boat and would take you around the world. And all of these that I'm going to show you have been really well kept. Here is another 41 footer that's for sale at $74,900 with a price drop recently of $14,600. And then you've got, here's a 1955 39 footer, list price of $95,000, also located in Maine, offered by Thomas Yachts. This one is gorgeous, and we're going to look at some of the photos on this. But I love the lines on these. They're just such stunners. And this one looks like it's been really well maintained. and which accounts for its higher list price. But all of these, with the exception of a couple that I saw, are listed around the $80,000 to $100,000 price. Some are a little bit lower, some are a little bit higher, depending on where they are and the condition they're in. But if you want to step back in time and you want to sail a piece of history, these Concordias are beautiful, beautiful boats. And there are a ton of them up here in Maine. And every time you see one, your heart stops and flutters just a little bit because they're so pretty to look at. And like I said, we've got the Camden Classic Cup coming up this weekend. I think several of these are racing, and I cannot wait to see them under full sail, blasting through the ocean blue. Really pretty boats. And so coming at number 7 are all of these Concordias, and whether the 41 or the 39 is up to you. The 39 was the more popular, 41 is a little bit rarer, and their sailboat data is basically interchangeable. 103 of these were made. It's a Raymond Hunt design, and they were built over in Germany for the Buzzards Bay area down on the Cape, because they were built to handle the sea state down there. Again, sail area displacement of just over 15, a S speed factor a little bit higher, 1.3, capsizing screening is about the same at 1.5, and a comfort ratio of nearly 40. So these are really, really comfortable boats, really, really seaworthy in any sea state, and heavy displacement boats. They're all tied at number 7. Love these boats. I love these Concordias. Check them out. All right, speaking of seaworthy, let's move on to number 6 this week. She's a 1981 Southern Cross 39. List price of $124,900, located down in Marblehead, Massachusetts. Now look, we have profiled a Southern Cross 28 before, and I love this boat, and I love this one just as much. This one is a really, really cool boat, and they are rare. She's fully loaded for blue water cruising. So let's take a quick look at these pictures, because there are a fair number of them. I love the lines on this. I love the cutter and staysail rig on this, and a single spreader mast. You've got lazy jacks. You've got all the accoutrements for ocean sailing, and I just love the look of this boat. The decks look like they've been redone at some point. You've got a canoe stern on this, or a double ender, and you've got nice high bulwarks on it. You've got newer electronics, and there's your cockpit, and nice high coamings in there. And the down below looks neat and tidy. Again, a sign of great seamanship, which means they care about their boat. You've got a stove for your cooler nights. You've got some entertainment with a television. All the wood looks to be in fabulous condition. Electronics all look good and serviceable, and there's your quarter berth, V berth, and the woodwork looks great. Nice galley you can sort of tuck in there. Your sink is almost center line. You've got a nice big stove, gimbaled, of course. Here's your head, and it looks like the bottom's just been redone, and maybe it's been brought down to the barrier coat. And you've got a great bowsprit there. But you got a max prop, 3-bladed folding prop there, which looks great, with a line cutter. You got a bow thruster. And quickly, some other quick notes about this. The down below is made out of cherry, and the Yanmar was replaced in 2011. Only has 968 hours on it. Let's see, what else do you have on there? You've got, like I said, the bow thruster and bronze seacocks. You've got all of this stuff to go through. It's too much to discuss here, but this boat is ready to go and ready to go around the world. I love it. She is number 6 this week. Looking at the sailboat data on this, you're going to see your schematics, and let's see, her max draft is just over 5 feet. So you can tuck in. She was built by CE Ryder Corp in the USA here, and she holds 120 gallons of water, sail area displacement of over 16, and she's a heavy displacement, comfort ratio of 35, capsizing screening of under 2, and a speed factor of 1.6. So heavier it blows, faster she goes. This is going to be a really cool boat, and if you want to go around the world, this would be the boat to do it in. She is all tricked out for that and ready for you to go. All right, cracking the top 5 is a 2005 Morris 42, the Ocean Series. Most expensive on our list this week. List price $574,000, located in Maine, okay, in Bernard, Maine. And she is a stunner. She's got the flagship blue all grip paint that was recently applied. And let's go through these photos, because you're going to love this boat. You could take this boat anywhere. You got the teak decks, which were all refinished recently. Your all grip on your cabin top was recently redone. And this boat is turnkey, noted to be in like new condition. Oh my God, look at your bright work on that. And there's your windlass. And look at those nice stainless steel handrails. I love that look. Sunday morning, Christmas Cove. All these things are beautiful. I love that transom. I love your cockpit. Look at the deep combings on that. Nice big wooden helm. And again, the bright work and the teak is exceptional on this boat. This boat is a stunner. Double sink, stainless steel near center line, and I love the down below. It looks cozy and comfortable, and it looks like it has been maintained to the nth degree. Look at that. Look at that attention to detail and the craftsmanship. It is off the charts. Excuse the pun because we're looking at the chart table. But I love the main salon. I love everything about this boat. It is just beautiful beyond words. I don't even really have good words for it, but like the varnish down below, you can see a reflection and everything. The head looks beautiful. There she is on the trailer. Apparently she has a new bearing in that spade rudder. And this boat, just want to look at the notes quickly before we move on to the sailboat data. Yeah, hull painted with new flag blue all grip in 2016. New bearing in the rudder in 2017. All the teak was refinished in 2021, and it is it's just off the charts. There are too many things to go through here, but let's look at the sailboat data, okay? All right. Here she is, Morse 42, max draft of 6.5 feet, first built in 1997, sail area displacement of nearly 17. She has a moderate displacement boat, comfort ratio of around 30, capsizing screening of under 2. This is a fast, steady, sturdy boat. Her ballast displacement is nearly 46, which means she can stand up in any kind of weather. Chuck Payne design, as I mentioned, I love his designs. They're beauties. There have been a number on our lists lately of his boats, and this one's no exception. She is number 5 this week. I mean, frankly, she should be number 1, but the price point was just too high, despite the fact that this is the fantasy edition. I just couldn't do it. But let's come back down to earth and check out number 4, which is a 1998 Tartan 4100. List price $200,000, just had a price drop on July 6th of nearly $16,000, and she's located in Connecticut. This is a beautiful example of the Tartan, and I love this one in particular because of the color and the way she's been kept. Let's take a quick look at the pictures. There's a lot of them, so we're not going to get through all of them, but you've got the roller furling in the boom, which I prefer over the mast. You've got a Bimini Dodger radar, and just nice clean lines. The cockpit is beautiful. Nice little folding table there. Nice big companionway to get down below. And the down below is just spotless. It looks like it's never been used, frankly. And you have these massive chain plates. You can just see it over here. You could probably just sit there and stare at yourself and look at how lucky you are for owning such a beautiful boat. But I love this boat because not only is she spotless, she is going to be a good performing boat, and you could take her anywhere. There's a good look at that chain plate. Look at the size of that thing. Main salon, everything looks beautiful. Electronics look great. I believe you have dual heads on this, but we'll confirm that. The galley is pretty sweet. You can tuck yourself in here and be well protected in any sort of sea state. And your sinks, your galley sinks are near centerline. You've got refrigeration, a special freezer down there. You've got an aft cabin here, which looks great. And there are your electronics. There's your nav station. It looks fantastic. Newer electronics, just about everything you need. You got your windlass winch and your winch for your roller furling and your boom and your switch panel here. There's your head, which looks great with a shower. There's your windlass, and you got a CQR anchor, Harken roller furling. All your decks look great. What a beautiful boat. The bright work looks great. There's your carbon fiber roller furling boom. And again, there are too many photos to go through here, but you get the idea. This is a beautiful boat. All your lines are led aft to the cockpit. Nice big primaries. There are all your electronics. At your helm station, everything you could possibly need. You got a hydraulic backstay and a swim platform off your stern. Let's look at the she's been on the market for a while, by the way. She was listed before October of 2022. So she's been on the market for a while. So it's time to make an offer on this boat. But you can see there's a ton of things to go through here, which we're not going to do here. But the boat is absolutely spotless. A lot of new things dating back to 2021 around that time. But looking at the sailboat data, you can see that while it's not dual head, you do have a sink in your V-berth, and then your head's back here, your primary head. But a nice layout here. I love this boat. You've got a max draft of 7 feet, so it's a pretty deep fin keel on this. You've got a beam of nearly 14, and you've got 100 gallons of water and 50 gallons of diesel, so you're in pretty good shape if you want to do some blue water cruising. You've got a sail area displacement of over 18. You've got she is a light displacement, comfort ratio of 24.5, nearly, I'm sorry, 24.53, so nearly 25, and a capsizing screening of just over 2, and a S/speed factor of over 3. Fast boat, fast performance boat that you can cruise and take just about anywhere. She is number 4 this week. All right, we're getting close. Coming in at number 3 this week is the least expensive boat on our list. She is a 1978 Vindo 40 Sloop. 40 Sloop means she's 31 feet, right? Makes sense, but that's the way it is. Okay, list price of $28,500, located in Rockland, Maine. Just listed by Grand Gray Yachts not too long ago, and she is a beauty. And I put her on the list at number 3 because she's so unusual, though very popular over in Sweden where they are made. A lot of these were made, but these were built to withstand the sea state up there, so they're very solidly built, and they really are beautiful. Even though she's in 1978, she had a new diesel put in, a Volvo Penta, in 2003. There's your nav station, main salon. V-berth area, galley, which looks, Spartan but serviceable. There's your head, which they don't really show a lot of, but your cockpit here is really beautiful. The attention to detail and the craftsmanship on these boats is off the charts. The good folks over at Magic Carpet 2 sailed one of these around this past summer. So if you're interested, I think theirs was a little bit smaller. I think she was 28 feet, but this is a really, really beautiful example of the Vindo. And she is wheel steering. The one that Magic Carpet was using was tiller, so that one was smaller. You've got the roller furling Genoa on there, and just a real classic beauty, and that is why she's number 3 this week. I just love the looks of this boat, and looking at the sailboat data, you'll see that your max draft is just under 5 feet at 4.6, beam of almost 10 feet, so she's pretty narrow. But first built in 1970, last built in 1982. 850 of these were made. Carl Anderson design, built in Sweden, and she has a sail area displacement of just under 14, and she has a heavy displacement, comfort ratio of nearly 33, so comfortable capsizing screening of under 2, and a speed factor of down just over 1. Harder it blows, faster she goes. That's going to be the case with this boat. But sea worthy. This boat could go anywhere. Here are your schematics. I love this boat. Really classic beauty. She's number 3 this week. She is a 1978 Vindo 40, which means she's 31 feet. All right, coming in at number 2 this week, one of my all-time favorite boat designs and boats, a 1985 Bristol 41.1 center cockpit, list price of $135,000, just had a price drop back in June of $14,000, located in South Dartmouth, Massachusetts. This one is beautiful. I love this layout. Now, this one's been modified with this porpoise peeper window here in the main salon, but let's take a look at this boat. This is just a classic example of this Bristol 41, and I think ultimately this is like the ideal size if you want to do some blue water cruising, go down to the islands. This boat can do it all and do it in style, and the layout is perfect for 2 couples or a small family, and even though she's 41 feet, she packs a lot of room in there. And personally, I sort of think she's the ideal boat. But let's take a look at the pictures. The down below looks spotless. That looks like white leather, which is dangerous if you drink red wine. But the down below looks neat and tidy and really, really in good shape. There's your porpoise peeper window, which I think is a modification. We'll have to check it out. But there's your main salon, custom woodwork here. And there's your nav station, which is really kind of fantastic. Some newer and some older electronics in there, but by and large, this boat, there's your passageway through the galley back to your aft cabin. So your galley looks serviceable. You've got a microwave, you've got your gimbal stove, you've got your ice chest over here, sink over here. So you can tuck yourself in there and be comfortable. Here's your aft cabin, which looks great. And you've got some fans set up for those southern climes, but you've got dual heads on this, which is great. There's your V-berth, and which looks nice and big. There's your second head, And I want to get to some of, there's your windlass. You've got roller furling in your boom, which I prefer. Here's your cockpit with a nice wooden helm. There's your newer electronics from Ray Marine and some older ones, but your lines are led aft. There is your, that would be your centerboard. This is a centerboard version of the boat. Not necessarily my favorite, but I think for your intended use of, if you're going to go to the islands, this boat would be for you. You've got davits for your dinghy, which is fantastic. I believe it comes with a dinghy. Yes, it does. And there's your radar. And here is your engine, which looks really, really clean and relatively new. I believe it's within the last decade or so. Stored indoors and well maintained. The bottom looks spotless. Here's a shot of your bottom paint. And really a stunner of a boat and just so stinking comfortable. So I just want to quickly, the draft is only 4.6 with the board up, 10.6 with it down. And I want to look at some of the, let's see, freshwater boat from 1998 to 2013. That's pretty sweet. Also has a generator and a Yanmar 53 horsepower engine. And I believe that was recently updated. You've got Seafrost freezer and a custom freezer area and a new stove as of 1997. And I want to say that Yanmar was put in there recently, mechanical. Yeah, the Yanmar was put in 2011. So let's look at the sailboat data because you'll see how comfortable this boat is. You've got the draft, minimum draft of 4.5 it says here, and then 10.6 with the board down. 104 of these were made. Ted Hood design. And just a lovely boat. 180 gallons of water, 80 gallons of diesel. That's substantial. Your sail area displacement of 15 and a comfort ratio of nearly 40. I believe she's the most comfortable boat on our list this week. And that is something, if you're going to do some blue water cruising, you're going to want to notice that. Capsizing screening of under 2 and an S speed factor of just under 1.5. So again, you're going to need some wind to get this boat moving, but she will move and she is beautiful. And you do have the dual heads with the aft cabin layout, and she can take you anywhere. And I love these. There are a couple on the market. This was my favorite, and she is number 2 this week. All right, ladies and gents, kicking on the drums for number 1. It's a boat I've had a love affair with since 1996, and as luck would have it, this is a 1996 Swann 44 Mark II. I love these Swanns. This, by the way, is probably their most popular model, and she's listed at $197,500. Just had a price drop of $42,000 back on June 30th. Sellers must be getting anxious. Make a move. This is a sweet boat, and it's the Fantasy Edition. So, what's the deal? She's located in Jamestown, Rhode Island, and she has been up and down the coast from New England to the Caribbean, and she has been well maintained and updated along the way. So nice fin keel with bulb and modified wing on that, so you're going to get good performance. You've got a nice big spade rudder. You've got what looks to be a 3-bladed max prop folding prop. You've got teak decking and windlass, and by the way, that teak decking was replaced in 2013. And all your lines are led aft to the cockpit. The coach roof looks great. Got lots of hatches for ventilation here. Looks like a life raft. Nice big cockpit wheel, high coamings. You've got electric winches on this boat. You've got new B&G electronics as of 2020. They're your electric winches. They're buttons anyway. And you've got a nice sugar scoop transom with a swim platform and a ladder. They're your new B&G electronics, which are duplicated down below. You got a B&G radar. Your V-berth looks fantastic. The fit and finish looks great. You've got a head up here in the bow, one of 2 heads. This is looking aft toward the transom and your companionway. You got an entertainment center. This is looking toward the bow. You've got a pilot berth on port, mismatched covering on your seat cushions, but that's okay. That can be fixed. And here we are looking at the galley. You got a dual sink refrigeration, gimbaled stove, and a nice big companionway that you're not going to fall down. And here's your nav station with your duplicated B&G electronics, chart plotter, your quarter berth with an opening hatch here, which is great for ventilation, though you don't really need it because this boat has, you guessed it, AC, great for the tropics. Here's your second head. And a new Volvo Penta engine, new as of 2007, I should say. but looks great. Volvos are great engines, but just a classic beauty. I love the lines on this boat. I love the blue and the white. It has everything, a bimini, Dodger, roller furling. And now let's get to the sail data on this. All right, here are your schematics. Here's one head, here's two heads, here's your quarter berth, galley, main salon. I love the lines on this boat. Really, really pretty rig on this. And she draws just over 7 feet, so not the shallowest draft, but not the deepest either. First built in 96, last built in 2002. 68 were built, designed by Frères. Fantastic. 100 gallons of water, 105 gallons of diesel. You could motor forever. Sail, not that you would want to. Sail area displacement of just over 17. She has a moderate displacement, comfort ratio of 31, so she's going to be a comfortable ride in most sea states. Sail area, S factor, speed factor of just over 2, and a capsizing screening formula of just under 2. This boat can do it all. She is hot, hot, hot. She is #1 this week. I love these Swanns. I've always loved Swanns, and this one is a stunner. Get it while it's hot. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.